good night. Welcome to my session, our intimate conversations on love and relationships with me, Denise J. Charles. Hi, for those of you who have joined so far. Hoping to see some more of you as we're going to spend some time drilling down, talking a little bit about relationships, talking a little bit about love, yes, and what it means to have a strong love, a focused love, a cemented love, a great love. I think this is something that all of us are looking for in life. We all want to feel that sense of great connection with someone. It is something that we all strive for, and it's great to be here on this IG Live. I'm usually doing my lives on Facebook, so it's great to have this platform this evening to talk to some of you about love and relationships, about myself and my husband and our relationship. If you follow me on IG, you certainly see lots of the things that I post are focused on love, relationships, dating, marriage, that type of thing. It's not the only thing that I do. Certainly I'm a multifaceted individual and I do lots of things, and this is one of my passions. One of the areas that I feel very strongly about, very passionately about, love, sex, relationships, happiness, well-being, leading a fulfilled life. And I believe that it's important that we also live an integrated life. And while I'm a professional educator. I write books. I also do poetry. I'm a poet. I'm a cultural practitioner in Barbados. So I do many things, and relationship coaching and helping others navigate their own lives and their own relationships, their own marriages, or their dating experiences, etc. Helping them to make the right choices. Certainly not making any choices for anybody, but navigating with individuals and walking them through their own journeys and talking to them and helping them to find their own way. Because when we do coaching, that is something that we are really doing. We're not telling you what to do, but we're helping you to sit through the experiences and to find your own way so you can make your own decisions and you can build that personal resilience. And certainly, maybe a couple of months ago, my husband and I found that coming out of COVID, we recognized that a lot of relationships were challenged. A lot of relationships were challenged before that. I mean, generally speaking, a lot of individuals were challenged. People found that this was a time when they felt that they were under a lot of mental stress. They were under a lot of psychological and emotional stress. We were hearing a lot in the media about the need for recognizing mental health and the need for our mental well-being to be well taken care of. And I think a lot of us were zeroing in on ourselves. We were spending a lot of time looking inward. And certainly my husband and I, we spent a lot of time, because we were on lockdown and we were together so much, we spent so much time in this very room that I'm in right now, which is my space, my office space or my study. We spent a lot of time in this room together. And every morning we would do a reading from my book, because I've written a number of books. My third book is called Tonight I'm a Butterfly, Celebrating Seasons of Change, a book of 61 inspirational readings. Well, even though they're targeted at women, as a woman I wrote for women, but anybody can read it because I know men have read it as well. And my husband and I spent a lot of time reading that book together. Every morning we would do a reading and we would reflect on it. And so much started to come out about us, about our individual journeys, about our individual lives in terms of what we're hoping to achieve and accomplish. Even as mature people, we still have dreams, we still have hopes, we still have desires. You never stop dreaming. At least you never should. And I certainly haven't. And neither has my husband. And we spend a lot of time talking about ourselves and about our own relationship. And that rumination was so deep. It was so revealing and exposing to the two of us. And we spent sometimes on Sundays as well, doing online sessions and sharing. And we found that out of those sessions, this whole idea of journey to one emerged, right? I don't know how many of you have been to weddings, or you like going to weddings, or you're aware of what happens at weddings. If you've never been to one, at least you might be aware. But certainly we've been to a fair share of weddings. Up until yesterday, we were blessed to be at the wedding of a very good friend of ours, Randy Eastman. Shout out to Randy, who should be honeymooning all right now and not listening to me anyhow. But Randy and his long time, fiance, now wife Mishka, they tied the knot. And certainly at weddings, you hear the priest or the pastor say, and the two shall be one. And that is something that we hear so often. And my husband and I, as we look back on our lives and we look back on our own story, we recognize that walking together, journeying to oneness, it is a process. It is an event that happens when you get married, but it's also a process. And out of that, the desire and the idea for writing our own love story emerged. We thought, yes, we're going to write this story. We're not just going to talk about this on Facebook Lives and have people comment on it. Because we said we would do other sessions with that topic, and we only did one. We never got back to doing another live. But there and then, the seed was planted to write our own love story. And we started the process. It was a very challenging experience because we've always been very open about our relationship. Since we've been doing these types of sessions online. I do a lot of my stuff on Facebook, and my videos are on YouTube and so on, but I'll be doing a lot more stuff on IG from here onward as well, try to move between both platforms. But we've always been frank and open about our relationship. And I said then, as I continue to say, that we've had our challenges. Our relationship has not been perfect. We're very thankful that it is where it is, and it is strong because we've been through many experiences together and we've walked the walk. We've done the work. We've been open, we've been honest, we've had to forgive each other, we've had to walk in each other's shoes, we've had to show compassion to each other. We've fought, we've been angry, we've fallen out, we've gotten back in good shoes with each other. So we've walked the journey, and we continue to walk the journey. And we are very intentional about our relationship and about making our relationship strong and about establishing our love. It's not a show for others to see. We're glad that others can see it. And so many times people would meet us, whether in the supermarket or in town or wherever we are out eating or something, and they would say, yeah, y'all guys are always together. We love your relationship. We love what you see, etc. What we see. And when people say that to us, we're obviously very happy. But that's not our first motivation. We're not doing it for others to see. Although we live in an age where social media sort of brings that out of us. But we're really doing it first for ourselves. We're doing it because we do want to have that quality relationship. We do want to connect at a deep level because we want to be real in terms of what we experience. We've lived enough and we've experienced enough to want what is best and to understand what's best and to understand what we need to do to get there. Plus, obviously, we want to be good examples for our own sons who are all adults now, and for others as well that we interface with, and even for those that we don't know. Yeah. So this idea of Journey to One started. And thanks for all of you who've joined so far. Nice to see you. And we started the process of getting that book together. We would sit in here or wherever. If we are out driving, we like to park by the beach. So sometimes we would talk, and we would talk about the past, and we would try to put that together. And I would write, and my husband would write and pass it through me, and we'd craft it together. And now we have a whole book. Our book is finished. It is with the printers. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to behold, beautiful to see, and hopefully it will be beautiful. It will be beautiful for you to read as well. Journey to One is our true love story. I was speaking to Tisha last Monday on Morning Barbados. For those of you who may not know, I appear on Morning Barbados every Monday morning. I have a segment there for about 15 minutes or so, usually around 7:15ish. I am on. For about 15 minutes where I talk about various topics, and towards the end of last week's session, I was sharing a bit about our upcoming event, which is next month, June 10th, and I did talk about this book, Journey to One, which will be launched then as well. And this is something that means so much to us. It is my husband's first book because he's never written before, but it is my fourth book because we've written this one together. And we're really looking forward to bringing this book to you, to having it out there, to discussing many of the issues that arise in our story. And it has not been easy because this is something that is very countercultural for Barbados. It's like, yeah, let me get back to what I was saying. As I told Tisha, I think that we were breaking fresh ground. We were breaking new ground as Bajans, as Barbadians. Maybe, I dare say, as Caribbean people, I don't know. Maybe there's another love story out there, true love story in the Caribbean somewhere, I don't know. But this is a present, real, true-to-life love story. It's not a history lesson of somebody who's passed and gone on, as we may have stories of people, or we know snippets of other people's lives who have been Caribbean people. This is a full, true love story as told by the people experiencing it themselves. I haven't told this to anyone to write for me. I wrote it myself. We wrote this ourselves. And I think we're unique in this regard. And certainly we're breaking new ground. And we're hoping that Bajans would accept it and embrace it and read it as coming from one of their own. And yeah, so we tell that love story from the time we met. I was quite young. We were both quite young, but I was the youngest of the two of us. And we tell that story of having met and having gotten married in the early years. And, you know, we drill down into some of the challenges that we've had and right up until this point. Yeah, and the reason for writing that story is really not to be sensational or anything, but really to help you and to help ourselves even in articulating and seeing the pattern that as God would have it unfold in our own lives, you know, seeing the destiny that God has purposed for our own lives as a couple and see it unfold. To have written it, you see it, you see the progression, you see the pattern. So we're very happy to share that and to be sharing that with you next month, June 10th at our official launch. But yeah, our event, Strong Love the Journey, which comes out of this whole experience of having spent so much time together during COVID and getting closer and wanting to give something to other couples as well. So we thought of this idea, and when we thought of families being under stress, couples being under stress, you know, we're all navigating the challenges and the difficulties of life in the 21st century. We do think that we have something of value that we can share with you. And we wanted to really create a space where you would come and you would feel empowered, you would feel inspired. It wouldn't just be a talk shop, but you would get to ask questions. It would be interactive. You know, there'd be various components. There'd be other couples, lead couples that we will be sharing with you on the night. And, you know, it's a multifaceted event, really. We have some wonderful entertainers lined up. And the thing for the night is going to be all romance. So every single entertainer that you see lined up there that evening will be sharing some very romantic music with you. We have the likes of Chrissy D, we have Adrian Clark, we have John Yard, we have Maya Daniel, we have Reese Garnes. Did I say we have Nikita? Yeah, I think we have about 6 artists who are going to be singing that evening. We have some dance as well. And you're going to have a chance to dance at the end, because as we end it all and we're going to mix and mingle, we have free drinks. And it's all a part of the package. You're going to have some time to groove and dance to some of the wonderful romantic music that my husband and I like so much. Yeah, some of the songs that we say are the songs of our life, you know, because we got married in the 80s, and a lot of the wonderful love music was written in the 80s and 90s, and you know, we still have a few around in the 2000s, but nothing like that classic love music. So we'll be sharing a lot of those songs, and I guess you can hear some of them playing in the background right now, because these are part of my favorite playlist. Yeah. And we brought some date nights to Facebook Live during the COVID time, and we weren't going out, and everybody was at home. You know, Friday night, you're stuck in your house, you really can't go anywhere. We started doing our date nights live on Facebook for people to see where we would dance, and we're going to bring a couple of them to IG as well, so look out for one coming up this week, perhaps sometime later. And yeah, we had the opportunity to really share with you and let you know how we feel about love, how we feel about life, how we feel about relationships. And we think that Strong Love, this event slated for June 10th at the Hilton Barbados, presents a wonderful opportunity for you to connect with us, connect with what we do. And in case any of you don't know what we do, you might have joined late. I'm Denise Charles. I am an educator by profession, but I'm also a certified counselor and coach. majoring in the area of relationships. My husband and I, we prepare many people for marriage. Many couples, we have walked them through preparation for their nuptials, for their vows. And it is something that we love doing. We love to see people married, but we love to see people prepared for marriage, because marriage is not easy. You know, it's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy space to walk in, and we think it requires great preparation, something that we certainly did not have, because it was not popular back in the day. The 80s, getting prepared for marriage was not something that happened in Barbados a lot, you know. So it wasn't something that we were prepared for. You know, we dove in at the deep end, and we had to learn to swim. It was a sink or swim kind of thing. Even though we read a lot, and you know, we kept reading, and we had there were some couple groups that we were part of during our early years, so those helped a lot. But we think that today it is so much better, because marriage counseling and premarital counseling is so much a prevalent thing today, that a lot of you enter marriage being a lot better prepared. Doesn't stop people from getting divorced or separated or messing up, however. Because no matter how prepared you may be, you still have to walk that walk and navigate those waters when you do get married. You know, some of you may not be married, but you have been in a relationship for a while. You know, you've been with this one partner for a long time, or long enough that you are a thing or an item. You kind of feel that this is a committed, cemented relationship. This event, Strong Love, is also for you, because we're going to have something for you. Whatever we are sharing is going to be relevant for a wide variety of individuals. So obviously, those who are married are going to, you know, they're going to be catered to at this event. Those of you who are in a relationship, you've been together for a while, you're going to be catered to at this event, because a lot of what we're going to be sharing is going to be very relevant to you as well. Never mind, you're not married. And then there are some of you who, you're single, you know, you haven't found that person as yet, or you've been in past relationships, you've been burnt by love, and you're not quite sure that love is something that you're interested in hearing quite a lot about right now. Maybe this event will help to change your mind. Maybe this event will help restore your faith in love and help you to see that, yes, a good love, a strong love, a real love does exist. You know, I just need to perhaps make my choices better. Maybe I need to learn to date right, you know, make the right dating decisions, make the right relationship decisions. And you know, there's nothing wrong with learning from our mistakes. There's nothing wrong with having gone through a rough time or a rough patch with someone or with a series of people, if that's going to help you to be in a better place to make the best relationship decision that you could make, you know. So it's okay to have made mistakes in your past. You don't need to keep making them, you know. And this event, Strong Love, the journey, because we're talking about the journey towards strong love. The fact that strong love is not automatic. You know, it requires forethought, it requires preparation, it requires sacrifice, it requires maturity, understanding. And we're going to be sharing a lot of these things with you at our event, Strong Love, the Journey, June 10th at the Hilton, Barbados. So if you're single, this event is also going to be something that you're going to be inspired by, motivated by, blessed by, I assure you. And yeah, so no matter where you find yourself, we think that being in such a space can help. And even if you're resigned to being by yourself, there's also nothing wrong with that. And we don't want to make people feel that if they have chosen to be alone, or they have chosen to be single, or they're quite happily single and they don't feel like being in a relationship, that anything is wrong with that. Because even if you're not in an intimate partner relationship, or you're not looking for marriage at this juncture in your life, you still have relationships with other people, because we can't live a life that is relationship-less. You know, human beings weren't designed like that. You know, we were created for a relationship. So even if you're not in that type of romantic relationship, I'm sure you have relationships with other people. I mean, you have friends, you have colleagues, you have siblings, parents, you know, cousins, friends from long time ago, new friends. You know, we connect with people. That's how we thrive as human beings. And if you've chosen to be single for whatever reason, there's nothing wrong with it. Once you're not holding on to bitterness or hurt and pain from a previous relationship, or you're not grieving some past relationship that you haven't, you haven't forgiven the person, or you haven't forgiven yourself for. Once that is not the case, then you can still be in a healthy space, you know, because there's nothing wrong with being on your own if that's what you've chosen for yourself, as long as you are healthy with that choice, and you're not in that space because of bitterness or because of anger. Because if you are in that space because you're bitter and angry from a previous relationship, or you haven't forgiven someone who has hurt you, then it will make it doubly difficult for you to establish a new relationship, or to be healthy in a new relationship, or even to be healthy by yourself, you know. And something that I always tell people is that being in a relationship requires you to be happy in a relationship, requires that you are happy by yourself first. It requires that you are resilient on your own first, that you love yourself first. And I don't mean that you're selfish or self-obsessed or narcissistic, or that you only care about yourself. That's not what I mean. But I mean that you have a healthy regard for yourself. You understand your worth, you understand your value, and you love yourself from that point, from that perspective. And when you're a whole person, you're in a much better place to navigate your relationship in a healthy way. And I can speak about this from my experience, because I was not a whole person when I got involved with my husband. I was not a whole person when I got married, you know, and he was not a whole person either. And as a result, you know, we faced many of the challenges that we did, and we talk about this very candidly in our book, about our past and about the brokenness in our past and how that impacted our relationship, you know. And it's good when we can say these things now and look at them in hindsight, look at them in the rearview mirror and be candid about them. And the reason why I can do this today, and the reason why my husband can do it as well, is because we have been healed. We have experienced that level of healing that I spoke about just now. That is necessary for a healthy relationship. Yeah. So you know, it's important that we are in touch with ourselves, we understand who we are, and that we seek to build that personal resilience, that personal strength, even before we seek to venture into a relationship or a marriage with someone. So in talking about strong love, I'm not just talking about loving someone else in a strong way, even though that is true, but it is very important that you also love yourself in a strong way, and that you understand what self-love is. You know, self-love is not about all the things we see people doing on social media, you know, all the positive quotes that people would put up, or all the pictures of ourselves. I mean, I like selfies too. I post a lot of selfies. You know, you go somewhere, you post a selfie, you know, you post yourself doing something, you're having a drink, you're having a weekend away at a hotel, or you're doing something for yourself. And we post a lot of these things to give an image, to say that, oh, I'm loving up on me. But loving on yourself isn't first something that you have to demonstrate to the world. I don't have to get all glammed up or do a makeover to show people that I'm loving myself. I don't have to take myself to a hotel for a weekend and be relaxing, sipping a glass of wine to show people that I'm loving up on myself. I don't have to spend a day at a spa to show people that I'm loving on myself. That is not where self-love begins. We can do those things, and those things are fine and beautiful, and I love them as well. But self-love starts on the inside. It is a part of us that nobody sees. It is that honesty between us and God. God, how do you see me, and how do I value myself? How can I connect who I really am with how you see me? How can I learn to accept myself with all of my flaws, and still understand that you love me unconditionally? And because you love me unconditionally, I can learn to love myself unconditionally as well. I can be gracious to my own self. I can be compassionate to my own self, you know, so that even where I admit that I have flaws, or I admit that I have challenges, I can still love me. And it doesn't mean that I am, you know, people will say I'm enough and I am this and I'm that. You know, it means that I'm still a work in progress. I still need you to work on me. I still need you to help me to be the best that I can be, God. But even in that, you know, I can still love me and value me, because you love me unconditionally even as I am. And I think when we come into that realization of what self-love really is, not something that is based on trappings and on external performances for an audience, but really something that takes place below the surface of what people see. It's a deep conviction. It happens in our spirits, in our souls, in that part of us that is unseen by people. It's an assurance on the inside of who we really are. When that self-love happens in there, then it will become naturally expressive externally, and people will see us, and it wouldn't depend on what we're doing. It will just be a joy we carry. It will just be an exuberance we carry. It will just be an energy that we carry because we know who we are on the inside. It doesn't mean that we'll always be on top of the world. Certainly I'm not on top of the world every day. I don't always feel as if I'm conquering my various mountains. There are times when I go through my low moments as well. There are times when I battle depression, when I battle anxiety. I have to deal with those things. I have to pull them into perspective, just like anybody else. But loving the self is that deep realization of who we are. And when we have that healthy view of who we are, and we own it, then it gives us a certain strength. It gives us a certain character. It gives us a certain resilience that we're able to take to a relationship. And when we take that to a relationship, we're not going to be easily walked over. We're not going to let someone walk over us. We're not going to let someone use us or abuse us. We're not going to live with abuse. We're not going to live with serial infidelity. We're not going to live with being emotionally, traumatized through the words or the actions of another individual. We're not going to allow someone to beat upon us physically and think that we are a victim and we can't get away. So there's a lot that goes into building that strength and that resilience in ourselves. And we're going to be talking about all of this at Strong Love the Journey. We may not speak to every single thing I'm speaking about now, because it is not a talk shop event. It's not a talk shop event from start to finish. It's multifaceted. So there are going to be little bursts of motivational sessions, some brief presentations, some interviews with other couples. We're going to have some dance in between. We're going to have some singing. Lots of the artists that I would have called before, and I'm going to call them again. For those of you who are just joining us, we're going to have Adrian Clark, we're going to have John Yard, we're going to have Chrissy D, we're going to have Maya Daniel, we're going to have Reese Garns, we're going to have Nikita in the building. These are all going to be sharing about love, because that is a night of love. It's a night of love. It's a night of romance. We're celebrating love. We're celebrating romance. We're celebrating self-love as well. We're celebrating relationship love. We're celebrating marriage. It's a celebration of love, okay? Period. Strong Love the Journey. Saturday, June 10th at the Hilton Barbados. $70 per person. And you're getting so much value for that. It's also going to be the launch of our own true love story, groundbreaking in Barbados. As far as I know, the only couple to have written their true love story, Journey to One. We're going to be launching that book that evening as well, and we will have it for sale at the event as well. You're going to get a chance to network with other couples, network with other singles. We are going to be seeking to really establish a kind of new vision for what we do. My husband and I, we do have a charity which was founded since 2008. So we're not newbies to this thing. We're not just hopping on to some bandwagon. We've been doing this for a long time. We established our charity, Better Blends Relationship Institute, in Barbados since 2008. So we've been doing this for a long time. And because of this institute, Better Blends Relationship Institute, it is a registered charity. Through this, we've gotten so many opportunities. Certainly, I have had so many international opportunities to share, mostly through my writing and secondarily through my speaking. I've had so many opportunities on the international stage. I've written for H Magazine. I've been a feature writer. I'm one of only 2 black writers for this magazine. This magazine is online. You can type it in, hmag.com, HITCHED, like when you're married, hmag.com. And there are only 2 black writers or 2 relationship experts that are black in this entire magazine. There are about 12 of us, and only 2 of us are black. And I'm the only one from the Caribbean. The other lady is from the US. And I've been featured as one of their relationship experts perhaps since maybe 2012 or so. And I'm still there as one of their relationship experts. All of my articles that I've written for them still on their site. I've been a feature writer for another magazine in Canada, as well as Fresh Vancouver, a print magazine. And I've appeared on Rogers TV, Canada again, Toronto, on a number of occasions. And I've even appeared on the Huffington Post on their internet TV from New York. So I've had so many opportunities through this charity. And all of those opportunities have focused on relationship health, relationship development, strengthening relationships, growing relationships, helping relationships to be better, to be stronger. That's what we've been doing. So we feel really happy to be at this stage now where we've taken all of that experience from the past, all that we've done, and we sort of like packaged it, and we're producing this event now called Strong Love, and we've written our story, and we're so happy to be in this place with you, and we want to have you in the place with us to celebrate this milestone, not only our story but this event, Strong Love, where let me as I wrap up let you know we are going to be doing a vows renewal. So as many people that will be in that event with us that are married, you don't have to if you don't want to, but we're going to be walking you through a vows renewal ceremony. My husband and I, we've renewed our vows at 20 years. When we were married for 20 years, we renewed our vows at 30 years. And so we've done it, been there, done that, and we're going to be walking you through a vows renewal that we're going to do with you. For those who are not married, but you are thinking about marriage and you're kind of on that road, you're on that pathway towards engagement and marriage, and your relationship is committed, it's solid, and you just want to kind of solidify that commitment even as you think of marriage in the future, we're going to walk you through a commitment pledge as well. And again, voluntary, you don't have to if you don't want to. And these are just added bonuses to the event that will be coming. The crowning point as well of the event, that vows renewal, which can be a beautiful, affirming experience for those of you who are married. It helps to really solidify your commitment. Who doesn't want to go through that wedding vows thing again, in a fresh way, in a new way, in a dynamic way, with creative words and language, as we will do it on that evening. So we're really looking forward to seeing you at Strong Love, The Journey, Saturday, June 10th, 6 p.m. at the Hilton Barbados. Remember, our box offices are at Emerald City, Carlton Supermarket, CS Pharmacy Broad Street, and Standard Pharmacy on Tweedside Road. And we encourage you to get your tickets in the early and to be there Saturday, June 10th. You're not going to want to miss this. A beautiful evening where we're going to celebrate love, no matter where you're located, whether single, pre-marriage, or married. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be wonderful. So we invite you all down to this adult event, because we're going to be discussing sex as well, of course. So we can't discuss relationships without discussing that. So we look forward to seeing you all at this event, Saturday, June 10th. We want to bless you this evening. Thank you so much for stopping by. And yeah, you'll see us some more. And we promise to bring one of our date night live sessions where we're actually going to be playing this music that you've been hearing me play. A lot of my favorite songs, right, on my playlist, songs that really mean a lot to us. I'm just going to go with Shaka Khan's Through the Fire. And we have our love story journey to one is actually punctuated with a lot of these songs as well, pieces of these songs and pieces of the poetry that I've written about love and about our own relationship. You'll find them in the book as well. So we promise we're going to bring one of our date nights where we're not just going to be talking. We won't be talking that much. We'll be dancing, listening to the music, and just sharing you some tips in between, yeah? So we're going to be doing that sometime very soon, so look up for that. So bless you guys. We're just going to go with this song.